This was the one thing that I was worried about when they said Arkham Knight would come to the Nintendo Switch and it would run natively. And while the game is playable, it definitely has a lot of issues that some of us remember from the PC port. Now, I'm not a big technical guy, so don't expect a lot of fancy jargon about frame drops and performance, and I'm a gamer, I'm not a tech person. But what I can tell you is when I played the game, slowed down a lot, the Batmobile felt sluggish, and all the other modes with the DLC, I mean, the game just runs way too slow. And the thing is, how do I put this? When we had the Wii U port of Arkham City Armored Edition in 2012, you would notice every once in a while that the game would have a little bit of problems with combat. Like, Batman would slow down just a little bit, and it wasn't that noticeable unless you were, like, fighting 40 guys at once, or playing, like, the Iceberg Lounge, for instance. Then you could be like, oh yeah, I kind of feel that this is running a tad slow, maybe, or the game isn't really, matching up with my movement. But the Arkham Knight game, I mean, not only does the visuals look a little washed compared to what we've seen before, even the PS4, which, I mean, I get it, it's not a, high-performing system, that makes sense. But, I mean, some of the stuff when you zoom out and you just, I mean, woof, that's, especially after coming out of Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, which look fantastic. Two of the best games of the collection, with City being superior, running at a constant 30 frames per second, I believe, or at least no slowdown from what I've noticed. In fact, Arkham City, just humble brag, plays better than the Wii U version that we got all those years ago. So, I mean, that's a win right there for Nintendo fans, because if you played through Arkham City on the Wii U, then you remember, again, that it had a few minor issues. Not major things, mind you, but, it was definitely noticeable. Here, you have to really be looking for it to nitpick that there's any problems with Arkham City. I'll give you that there's some issues with Arkham Asylum. I've played it, I've experienced some of it, especially during the DLC challenge missions, which I underwent last night. And a few, we'll say, hairy situations with a lot of enemies coming at me at once. But other than that, the game runs fine. Arkham Knight, I hate to rip off the Band-Aid, but, I mean, come on, we all knew this was coming. Even if the game ran on the cloud, which would be worse, the Switch is just not optimized to handle Arkham Knight. Now, it's possible with a patch, maybe in January, after the Christmas season, maybe they could do something. But the game is already over 20 gigabytes as it is. It took me almost 5 hours just to download it, and playing for 20 minutes was enough to give me a headache. And that's not a good thing. So I have no idea how I'm going to stream the Arkham Knight collection, as well as show the challenge maps and all this other stuff, because, well, let's just say I have a short fuse. You guys know that. I know that. I mean, it's a character flaw, but I'm an angry New Yorker. What do you want? When things don't go the way that they're supposed to, maybe after 5-10 minutes I'm okay, but 30 minutes of the same old, and, well, I tend to, go a little off. Not a lot, but it does tend to happen, right? Terror is human. So me streaming this game live, especially with probably being heckled by people and them making fun of the game, chances are I might go a little nuclear, because, I've been waiting a long time for the Arkham collection to come out, and 2 of the 3 isn't bad, but I mean, I was really just racking my brain all these months, and ever since it was announced, like, how in the world is Arkham Knight going to run on this thing? I even remember the conversations I had with former Rocksteady people, and, joking around when the Switch came out, it's like, hey, could we get a Arkham port of Arkham Knight? And, I could tell that they were laughing at me politely, but I mean, there was no way. The fact that when I interviewed them back in the day, talking about how big a gigabyte eater the Batmobile is, and we all know the specs of the Switch is just not able to handle that, and that the PS3, they even used the PS3 as an example, the PS3 could not handle the Arkham Tankmobile, which is why the game was, made for the Xbox One and the PS4. It was a given. It couldn't run it. So the Switch is in the same boat. I'm not saying that it's a PS3. I think that it has better specs and visual capabilities of a PS3. But it also doesn't have the processing power, nor does it have the memory to run something as big as Arkham Knight, especially that Batmobile. Now, if you're just roaming around the city, you're not really going to notice a lot of, we'll say, hiccups with the gameplay. Every once in a while, when you're fighting hordes of enemies, because let's face it, Arkham Knight added way more enemies than you were able to fight against in both Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Every time Rocksteady upped the ante based on how the technology improved and how they were able to utilize the different game engines and all the yada yada. So when you're roaming around Gotham and there are waves of enemies coming after you, you're going to notice every once in a while, we'll call them hiccups, that are going to happen during combat. The challenge maps was more of the same, you know, especially with that, we'll say, computerized texture thing that they did, you know, that stylized look where they kind of like trap you in this virtual world, which I never really liked about the challenge maps for Arkham Knight. I hated that it was kind of like, you know, you're doing like AR training or whatever. I think I did complain about it back in the day, but I can't remember. I complain about a lot of things. Again, East Coaster, it's what we do. So we do it because we get annoyed and we expect better, right? Yeah, I have to chalk it up to Rocksteady this time. They were correct. There's no way on God's green earth that Arkham Knight could run on Nintendo Switch. And it's correct. Is the game unplayable? No, it's not unplayable, but if you want to have a massive migraine trying to steer the Batmobile that feels more like a tank than ever before, I mean, then good luck to you. I really I wish you the best, but I don't know if I could do it. Especially, I don't know if I could drive the Batmobile on a live stream and not say anything, because, I mean, it's really noticeable. I even cleared up as much data as possible on my system memory after downloading that beastly game, and it didn't really make much of a difference. Now, I noticed some sputtering on Breath of the Wild during one of my streams, and, you know, I didn't really have that much system memory left. I had a boatload of memory on my, you know, memory card thing, like, and it'd be great if, you know, the Switch could actually give you the option to kind of optimize the system the way you want, because maybe if it had a little bit more memory, Arkham Knight would run well, but I mean, I'm running it at 600 or 700 megabytes, like with system memory free, and I'm still running into a lot of the issues that I've seen online. So, I mean, if I'm putting it in perspective for you guys, when I played Transformers Earthspark a while back, it was completely unplayable on Nintendo Switch. And that was a cel-shaded, you know, cartoon game that just constantly jammed up. I'm a little devastated, but I'm going to say this, because I'm trying to be optimistic. 2 out of 3 is not bad. Arkham Asylum, we never got a port of on a Nintendo system. We were close to Wii U, but it didn't happen. And this one plays good, but it feels like a Wii U port sometimes. Arkham City is a huge improvement over the Wii U build that we played in 2012. And I love it. It's my favorite. It's my favorite Arkham game. And being able to play that thing in hybrid mode, oh man, chef's kiss. Beautiful. So if you've never gotten the chance to play Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, now's your chance on Nintendo Switch. Arkham Knight, maybe down the road they can fix it, but I mean, if you're playing through the story and you're not trying to do, you know, the game 100%, which I would not recommend, because you're going to run into a lot of frustrating moments, such as, you know, steering the Batmobile or, tank combat. I did not get to experience that, but oh my gosh, if driving is like this, then tank combat is going to be nightmarish. As well as, you know, riddle puzzles with the tank, and oh boy. Anyway, I wish the developer who ported this game the best of luck of trying to patch it, but I'm not a technical expertise, guys. I have no idea how they're going to do this. I wish them well, and again, Arkham City and Arkham Asylum play fine. So, if you've never gotten the chance, go for it. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. In the comment section below, let me know what you guys experienced with Arkham Knight on Nintendo Switch. Did you have similar experiences that I did? Did you have none of the experience I did? And if so, tell me what you did to your system so it ran smooth as butter, because I want to stream this game, just not like this. Alright, so anyway guys, see you later today with an awesome live stream on more of Arkham Asylum, the Nintendo Switch Trilogy Collection, and so much more. Until then, God bless and happy gaming. Thanks so much for watching. Be seeing ya.